Today we're talking about manifestation and what is the difference between manifestation and making things happen the way we've been taught. Hi again, my name is Karen Katz. I am a certified professional life coach and speaker for Fortune 500 companies. And today we're going to dive into the basic difference between manifestation and the way we've been taught to create by setting goals, setting intentions, writing down a list of action steps, and then hustling. And you know what? That way is just plain exhausting. If it works for some people, great. What I hear from most clients is, I'm a procrastinator, I cannot find the motivation. And I always say, no, absolutely not. You're not a procrastinator. You just have a list of things to do that you don't want to do. You don't want to take those action steps. It's exhausting. Think about it. Think about somebody that wants to lose 60 pounds and is told they have to do these exercises that they hate, eat this food that is disgusting to them, and they have to give up all of the food that they love to eat. Who's going to want to do that? Of course, they're going to awaken procrastination and have a hard time finding motivation. It just doesn't work, and it doesn't work for empaths that way. So luckily, we have another option. Manifestation is about aligning our belief system so that we can get what we want more easily. It is different than what we are taught. We have been taught to see it, to believe it, and manifestation is all about believing it to see it. Let me explain it clearly. Dr. Joe Dispenza says that our brain is bombarded with over 400 billion bits of information per second, but it cannot, thankfully, process all that. Otherwise, we would go nuts. It can only process about 2,000 bits of information. 2,000, imagine that. Out of the 400 billion bits, just 2,000. Those 2,000 have to be really, really important. How does it select which 2,000 to focus on, to perceive, to allow us to translate so that we can see, hear, touch, taste, and smell? It's through our reticular activating system, a filtering system in our brain that literally lets in whatever we believe to be true and discards the rest. Let's do a simple experiment. I invite you to look around the room you're in and notice for the next few seconds all the green things that you see. Go ahead. Cool. Now close your eyes for a second, and I want you to count in your mind how many red things you saw. No cheating. Now open your eyes and count how many red things you see. Are there more red things when you looked for them than what you initially thought in your mind? And that is exactly what happens with our reticular activating system, allowing in certain things on a deeper level with our belief system. So all the red things that we actually saw the second time were always there. They didn't just appear out of the blue. They were always there, but we didn't see them, or we couldn't see them because we were focused on the green things initially. That's where our focus was. So where our focus goes, our attention goes, that's what we're going to see more of. And that's exactly what is happening when we want to manifest something. If our belief system says, somebody that wants to manifest love, that there are no good men out there, That's the belief system. It is not allowing in, the reticular activating system is not going to allow in a lot of opportunities and options because it's closed down the possibility. It's going to discard all the ones that are available are going to be discarded. They're not going to come through the belief system. Make sense? And this is something that we control and we can change. So here's how it happened for a client, just to explain. This is the best way for me to explain the difference between manifesting and creating the way we've been taught to create. This client wanted to grow her business. She creates the most beautiful pieces of jewelry I've seen. Gorgeous. And she wanted to grow her business, but she was also suffering from tremendous anxiety. So one of the methods that she had used for growing her business was attending art fairs, but they really took a toll on her because of her anxiety. There were a lot of people, a lot of things to take care of. She didn't have the help. It was just way too much. As we were talking about the different options, she said, I really want to be featured in this magazine. And the magazine, she's in a different country. It's the equivalent of Oprah here in the United States. And I said, oh, great. So what do you think needs to happen in order for you to do that? She's like, well, I've tried before. I contacted the people. I submitted a sample. I got the email of the person. I'm waiting for them and nothing has happened. I've tried and nothing has happened. In the meantime, we were working on other options and we were also working on this, attending the art fair and working a little bit to help her lower her anxiety. So I taught her several tools and several techniques, and her anxiety started to lower to a level where she felt that she could attend one of the fairs and it was really calling her. So we did some alignment work and she attended the fair. It was a 3-day event. And on day 2, she got approached by this man who came to her table and said, oh my God, it's you. And she's like, do I know you? And he's like, well, my girlfriend bought a bracelet from you. And I was looking at it the other day. She was telling me your story and what it is that you do to recover some of these valuable techniques from indigenous tribes. And I think it's so valuable what you're doing. I love the work you're doing. I want to feature you in the magazine that I work in. And she's like, oh, how cool. Which magazine? Guess which one it was. Exactly the same magazine. So the difference between manifesting and creating the way we've been taught by setting goals and suffering through it and getting things done is very clear. One way, we align ourselves mentally, we align our belief system to support seeing, receiving the guidance and taking the action that allows us to bring in or let in what we want. Out of those 400 billion bits of information, the 2,000 that are coming in are going to be different. Or, as I asked her, which part of the step-by-step process, right? The business plan says, attend the fair and wait for man to approach me to ask me to feature me on the magazine, right? It's not something that we are taught to do logically. Logically is hustle, make it happen, push through it, even if it's hard. If it's harder, you're more worthy of it. And all that is just BS. If you're an empath, manifestation is one of your superpowers. It just comes naturally for you once you do the healing work. And every time I say that, I have to say carefully, healing doesn't have to be hard or difficult or heavy. I had 10 years of therapy and it didn't even move the needle. I've worked with clients that have had 12, 15, 20 years of therapy. I had one in particular that had 12 years of therapy and nothing was shifting for her. And after being in one of my healing containers for 5 weeks, people that were close to her started asking her, "What are you doing? I can see a change." So it doesn't have to be hard. You just need the proper guidance and you need the proper tools. That's it. But just know that as an empath, you have this natural superpower. You have this natural manifesting ability. Namaste, my love.